You talked about dialing up blitzes. What was kind of the impetus to do that last week, and do you think that you'll be able to continue that for this year?
Yeah, I mean, we need to stay healthy and keep the young DBs coming along and learning. There is a degree of difficulty for the back end to be able to do some of the things we do, and to have those guys all in place helped a lot.
Staying in the front.
With that, Alonso, how did you feel the defensive tackles playing over here?
Oh, there you are. I see you with that red jacket on.
You had that one ready to go, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to exit briefly and not honor you with that. But how did you feel defensive tackles played minus Alonso and Hardrick? I know you mentioned that's extra time.
Really well, really well. Ivan played well, and you know, I think that's going to be the message, has been the message, and those spots are given. I thought I was very, very proud of Ivan. Told him that yesterday.
Early, y'all looked like you were playing a lot of a three-man line against Vandy, pretty successful at it. Was that something just to change it up, or was that because Alonso wasn't in, or?
No, we've done that all year.
Well, you were real successful at it against Vandy.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Gavin and Day-Day being very, very active and creating some mismatched situations with those two kids in there, with Isaiah holding down the middle, and I didn't have to add on blitzers at times, and then when we did add on blitzers, it made the world go around for us.
We'll go to C's here in a minute, and then again.
So Mark, how much did the fact that they were starting a redshirt freshman figuring down with those blitzes, or was that not at all?
No, not at all. I mean, it was the same. They had the same game plan they had against Georgia. They didn't change anything. We just didn't let them play well, bottom line. We just didn't let them play good, and proud of them for that.
Mike Evans, and he was surprised that he's not in the Heisman Trophy conversation. What's your take about Mike, and should he be in that conversation?
And when you look at the numbers, I mean, you can't argue about the season that he's having. He's having one of the best seasons that you could possibly ask a receiver to have. He's definitely one of the best players in the country, and when you talk about the Heisman Trophy, it's supposed to be to the best players in the country, so he should be in that conversation.
Can you talk about the 4 running backs and the fact that probably all of them could be starters somewhere, and the healthy competition that you see between them at practice and how they take that onto the field?
Yeah, they definitely, you know, any one of those guys could be the starter on any team. They're all different from a talent standpoint, but they compete. They all want to be the guy who's out there on the field running the ball. And you got a chance to see all 4 of them this past weekend, and we saw some good things, although we did have a couple fumbles, and which we hadn't had all year. But those guys are very competitive. They all want to be out on the field, and it makes for a good competition, which helps us with our run game and our protections and the things that we ask those running backs to do.
So you get second row center, C's.
Clarence, it looks like the pecking order at the end of the game, maybe the fumble gives Brandon Williams more time. How does the pecking order for the game plan go in? Is it based on the last game going in, or is it the practice?
It's looking at the UTEP. It's based on the week-to-week practice. Those guys are evaluated daily on how they practice, and you know, we expect a daily competition, and they compete, you know, each day. So based on how you practice that week will determine how much you'll play that week, I guess.
You has high turnovers, and as the offensive coordinator, how do you go about addressing that to the players in this week's the film and whatnot?
We don't talk about it. We coach ball security daily. So on the weeks that we didn't have turnovers, we coached ball security during those weeks. It just happened to be one of those things. It became a contagious deal, I guess, for about 4 series in there. But we don't put extra emphasis on turnovers. We coach that. That becomes a part of our daily routine.
Right side out, Gabe.
Clarence, did you get the sense that Trey Williams was getting ready to have a huge game before that fumble?
It looked that way. You know, we've been waiting for it all year. He has the potential to have a really, really huge game. He had some big runs there early, and then, you know, we were trying to get 3, and we gave up a fumble there at the end of the quarter. But it looked like he's primed to have one of those big games.